of this stuff that's going on, I realize I've been helping a lot of people kind of like process the moment. And when I'm talking to somebody who's younger than I am, I've noticed that maybe they don't like grasp the historic significance of this moment. I'll turn 40 this year. 40. And in my lifetime, I've never seen anything quite like this, in 2008, when the housing bubble burst and everybody was losing homes and they were losing money, that was a really serious moment in American history. But when we look back on that, it seems like for the most part that was an economic issue that took place. September 11th, 2001, just a horrible moment that, if you were alive at that time and paying attention, that's a moment that's scarred into your memory, right? But that was a moment that, that scared us, right? Like it really brought a lot of people together. Right now, it's just wild, because we're facing a global health crisis, and we're just watching like the meltdown of world economic markets all happening at the same time, right? And I don't know that it's ever really happened this way. Maybe ever, right? And I'm happy to be corrected on that. Maybe go down into the comments section if you can think of a time that's similar to this in human history. We're in a moment in history in which a lot of things are going to change, like globally. Wow. This is a hard time for a lot of people because it's really shaking to the core a lot of like those institutions that we have trusted. People trusted the strength of the markets, right? Right now, that's gone. People have trusted the government to do the right thing, right? And, opinions vary on that, right? But more or less, our trust in that institution is wavering really hard right now. The younger you are, even before all of this, right? Like the younger you are, the more likely you were to have a distrust of institutions, right? And with everything that's happening right now, it seems like the rest of us are starting to catch up with that distrust of institutions that we once really relied on. This is a big moment.
Shining like a diamond. I see people watching. Perfect hourglass timing. Good things come to those who wait. Silhouette looking cinematic. Yeah, I bet you wish you had this. Bless me, I'm sicker than your average.
It feels a little bit like we're losing our identity. Or maybe more precisely, like we're coming to realize how much of our identity has been wrapped up in the trust of these institutions. See, before all this, I could trust these institutions to do what it was they were supposed to do, right? Like government. Government would maintain a certain standard of living for me. Banks would hold on to my money. They would try to help it grow. The economy would gradually grow. Occasionally, it would kind of correct itself. But, for the most part, it would grow. Even churches, right? Like churches were just a place in which you could show up, you could be welcomed, you could experience hospitality. Now, of course, like that isn't the case for all people, which is why, younger generations have been more likely to distrust these institutions than, say, the older generations might be. But let's be honest. Most of these institutions only really put up the facade of stability for the whole culture. The reality is, unless you had the right stuff lined up, right? Like, unless you happen to live in the right neighborhood, you had the right job, maybe you were born into the right family with the right name, maybe if the skin tone was the right color, then you had access to all that these institutions really provided for. And if you didn't, well, most of us didn't actually have access to the security that these institutions claimed that they provided for all of us. In fact, most of these institutions actually are kind of like the burden on the back of those people who don't have access to the keys to that particular kingdom. It's why one of the conversations that's going on right now is about getting the economy back up and running while more and more people are getting sick and they're getting the virus. Those who benefit from the stock market working at full capacity, they're willing to risk the infection of others because they know that they'll be protected by those institutions that they want to prop up. They don't seem to care that a functioning economy coupled with a spreading virus is actually probably going to kill more people. See, the problem is when you pull back the facade of so many of these institutions that we trust, we come to realize that it's not actually about caring for people, but it's about how much money somebody can make. And unfortunately, there's not like an easy resolution to all of this because of the way most people think about the world. You know, here in the United States, we're all consumers. And it's seeped into every aspect of life, even in the church, you know. So how do you break the mindset of a people when even our most sacred institutions have a consumer mindset? Change is hard, but change is possible. And in this time where our identity is on the ropes because we don't trust our institutions as much, we kind of have this gift in the opportunity to rethink what is important to us all. You know, so do this. Get off of this for a little bit. You know, we don't think about this, but algorithms control so much of what we see. So in this time that you're stuck at home, don't just be a consumer of entertainment only. Unplug once in a while and think about the things that are actually important. Health is important too. You know, how are the decisions that we're making leading us as a culture to a place where we are more healthy, right? And I'm not just talking about like a healthy body, that's important, right? But I'm talking about a healthy mind, a healthy spirit, a healthy soul, right? Healthy communities even, healthy relationships, a healthy environment. How are we going to make a healthy economy that's not just for the benefit of those people who are at the very top, the richest, the most powerful? We have an opportunity to rethink everything. So what's the dream, right? Like, why not aim for that thing? How about this, right? Down in the comment section below, let's just talk about what our dream is for a better future, right? What would you change if you could change it, right? And think, you know, start small and then, you know, gradually get bigger, right? So start with what would you change about your life, right? What's something that you would change about the dynamics within your family? Get to your communities, right? Like the communities that you're a part of. What would you like to see as a positive change in those communities? Like, if we're going to get this break, let's take full advantage of this break. But that's it for me today. Do me a favor, like, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to post most days, so if you hit that bell icon that's up there, you'll get a notification from YouTube every time I upload something. But may we not just move through the world as we are told it has to be. You know, we can listen to what is important. And in this time where we have this break, we can change what is unjust and make things better. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you soon.